Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube! My name is SeaRaptor, and it is time for more Scuttlebutt. This week's game in the background brought to you by Tier 9 British cruiser HMS Drake. Now, I've featured Drake on one of these not terribly long ago, but this game was just too hilarious I had to share. I didn't really feel like it was worthy of its own commentary, because I don't do anything really special this game, but the ending is a little hilarious, and it was worthwhile. I spent this game divvied up with Tavman and some of his clanmates, which was really awesome. I've met Tav a couple of times at various Anchors Away events here in Texas. I think both times aboard USS Texas. Maybe down at Lex, I don't remember. But anyway, he's come up, he's introduced himself, and he tagged me the other night and was like, hey, you want to div up for a few games? And I was like, well, yeah, you know what, I'm not doing anything exciting, let's do this. So I had the good fortune to hang out with him and some of his clanmates, great people, had a good time hanging out with them, and this was our very last game of the night, and it was a spectacular, hilarious way to end the evening, so enjoy. What's going on in Shooty Boats? Well, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about me. I don't normally do this, but we've hit a couple of milestones around these parts, and it's time to celebrate. Astute observers will have noticed that I added a little bit of confetti to my intro card there at the top of the video, and that's because within the last week or two, we've managed to hit 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And for guys, that is that's a pretty notable milestone for me. I started this YouTube thing like 4 years ago, really, and I did a couple of videos thinking, oh, I'm going to get into this, and then I just kind of dropped it like a bad habit. All that effort went into the World of Warships wiki for the better part of 2 years, essentially. And then about a couple of years ago, about the time I became a CC, I decided, well, you know, maybe I should get back into some of that, and so here we are. You guys show up, you know, when I post videos, whether they're good, they're bad, they're derpy, they're informative, they're not informative. I love that you guys will come in here and comment, and we'll have discussions. I don't expect you to agree with everything I say. That's fine, right? I'm not looking for sycophants and fanboys. I'm looking to foster the conversation of having a good community that and produce a strong game that we can all enjoy. And if we disagree, that's fine. Look, I enjoy Carrier. I know people that think I'm insane. I'm okay with this, right? Everybody has different things that they like and things they don't like. I consider battleships one step above pond scum in this game, and a lot of people disagree with me. I'm fine with that. I say that as a longtime cruiser player, right? So there you go. But anyways, guys, just thanks for your support. Thanks for making this the channel as successful as it is. As a thank you, if you scroll down into the comments, into the video notes, you're going to find a link to a Gleam contest. I'd like you to go over there and enter that. I'm giving away a Tier 8 premium ship of your choice on whatever server you happen to play on. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I posted a Ryujo video that I talked about. I had won a little internal clan contest sponsored by fellow North American community contributor Griefer, although he wasn't a CC at the time, he is now. And I'll throw you guys a link to his channel. Go check him out. But he sponsored a little contest within the clan that I won. I won a Tier 8 ship as my prize. I don't need it, so we're going to give it out to you guys in celebration of 2,000 subscribers. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome, and I really appreciate you guys. In a similar vein, I have also recently hit 4,000 followers on Twitch. Not subscribers, followers. They're called followers on Twitch. 4,000 followers over there, which is another big milestone. We're not going to belabor the point here. Keep an eye on Twitter. I'm going to be announcing a special celebration stream soon over there with a lot more stuff to give out. Will be, you know, some crates and containers and codes and some ships and all this sort of thing. And we'll probably do that on a weekend, on a Saturday or Sunday. I got to look at my calendar and figure out when I can squeeze that in. Anyway, big announcement. That'll come on Twitter, so go follow me over there. Keep an eye on that. Speaking of more things you could be earning for free, the weekly forum contest over on the NA forums, sponsored by Hapafodder and the Wargaming North America guys, continues every week doing what they do. Again, I'll put a link down below. Go check that out. Win you some free stuff. Usually you have to go in game, do something fun, sink some ships or ram a ship or whatever, and post. You have to come back to the thread and post a screenshot. That's it. And then at some point during the week, you're going to get some free stuff. Probably some camos. So sometimes you have a chance at winning a premium time or bigger things. But, you know, they're giving you stuff for free for playing the game. So, like, why should you just... you should absolutely do that. So check that out. More North America news. Unfortunately, I did see confirmation recently that the Anchors Away tour stop aboard USS Wisconsin, which was scheduled for the back end of July, has been postponed. This is not overly shocking, but a little disappointing. I had been cautiously optimistic we'd be able to salvage that stop on the tour, as things are started kind of edging back towards normalcy for large chunks of America, but that didn't happen. So my suspicion is it's probably twofold. I think right now, travel within the U.S. is still a real hassle. The wargaming offices are in Austin. They'd have to get on planes and fly to Norfolk. Probably have to change planes somewhere to get there, either Dulles or Houston or however that got lined up. And anyway, long story short, there's all kinds of factors that go into that. My suspicion is that it was a combination of the venue being a little dubious about, do we really want to host this event? Do we want to have all these people? And then the wargaming employees, the wargaming leadership here in North America, basically, do we really want to put our employees at risk, sticking them on airplanes, sending them to this venue, and so on and so forth. So for whatever reasons, all of that has kind of been, again, postponed. We haven't seen where a lot of these dates, my assumption is a lot of these dates that have been postponed, Intrepid and Wisconsin and North Carolina, are all going to get tacked on into 2021's tour schedule, which right now ends, I think, in March of 2021. We don't know that yet, but my suspicion is that's where we're going to land. So keep your eyes on the forums and all that. So I'm confident they'll make an announcement. I'm betting August is HMCS Haida, the two-day event at Haida, and with the borders still kind of up in the air in terms of Americans traveling to Canada and vice versa, I have very low expectations for that event going forward as well. So we'll see. But anyways, I'm sure once things start kind of recalibrating from the travel and moving around perspective, that they'll take the time to start rescheduling things. So anyways, guys, bad news, but it is what it is. Update 9.5, of course, dropped last week worldwide, coming Wednesday here on NA, and I think on Russia as well, and then Thursday for Asia and EU. Brings us the Odin Dockyard event, which is really spectacular, and I'm really enjoying these what am I looking for? The mission, the directives. There we go. The directives have not been that hard. I have not gone out of my way to accomplish any of these things. I haven't spent any time specifically focusing on any of them, and I got them all done. I just sat down and played the game for a while, and oh look, they got finished. So I really like that. I think they've done the dockyard thing this time is a vast improvement over what they had set up for Puerto Rico. Now you are going to have to sink a few doubloons into this if you want Odin. I do have at least 1 or 2 Odin games coming to the channel this week, and I'm continuing to play her just so folks can determine for themselves if they want to invest this cash, the doubloons, I should say, necessary to finish the ship. So keep your eyes on the Twitch channel or around here on YouTube, and you'll see some replays, and we'll talk through some of the pros and cons of the ship and so on and so forth. They also released Siegfried and Eiger. Siegfried coming for research points, Eiger coming for free XP. I am loving Siegfried. You're going to see some replays. I think I've got a battle report going up on the channel later this week for Siegfried. That's just, I almost every game I have in Siegfried, it feels ridiculous. I giggle like I'm 12. It's hilarious. The ship is ridiculous, and I'm loving it. So check those out when they hit the channel. Eiger is not quite as meme-worthy, but I'm finding her to be still a really solid ship. I was actually quite surprised. I expected to not. I don't like her as much as Siegfried, but I expected the gap, the gap to be larger in the sense of I love Siegfried, and I expected my Eiger opinion to be kind of meh, but actually I do quite like Eiger. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised that both of these ships are pretty solid. The Odin Dockyard event also gives you the chance to earn Graf Spee. For those of you that don't have it, which is she's a fun little mid-tier cruiser, and they gave her out for free I think a few Christmases ago, and now they're bringing her back again basically for free. So take advantage of that. Alexander Nevsky, the new Tier 10 replacement for Moskva, has also come to the game. I've seen screenshots of those getting spammed all over the place. I took mine out for a game that was interesting. I think I kind of undervalued her anti-aircraft armament. You put defensive fire on that ship between her AA range, her flat capability, and the ability to mount the secondary modification 2 in slot 6 and defensive fire. Like this thing, I had a Hakuryu try to AP bomb my Nevsky. None of his planes survived to make that drop. That's not normal in the new AA system, right? There was so much flak, but with the defensive fire active, he couldn't get through it, and I just melted his planes, and that felt really nice. You don't see a lot of that outside of Holland and Oosterjutland at high tiers. So Nevsky's got some A things going for her. German carriers, of course, are in super testing. You'll see them around. I heard a really good suggestion the other day that I liked, and it had to do with there's been a lot of concern, a lot of kvetching, and a lot of I don't really know about this, about the AP rockets, right? The AP rockets on the attack aircraft. I, of course, again, guys, don't ask me my opinion. I haven't played them intentionally. I'm avoiding playing these ships because I'm not a super tester, okay? However, I heard someone suggest, hey, the torpedoes are now, on paper, look decent. We know the AP dive bombs are decent without knowing the reticles and stuff. Has anybody considered maybe ditching the attack planes and giving the German carriers dual dive bomber armaments? So you have high explosive bombs, armor-piercing bombs, and then torpedoes. And I thought, man, I really like that idea, because that would really give the German carriers a really neat flavor of, again, you still have high explosive. So you still have the high explosive and the torpedoes. So you have the chance to land those floods, right, if you need them. Or the damage over time effects, I should say. And then the dive bombers give you a really good flexibility, right? Because some battleships won't react well to the AP bombs. Some will shrug them off, right? But the HE bombs will pretty much are universal. They'll do good damage to everybody, much the way that rockets do. Rockets will usually do some solid damage and light some fires. HE bombs, same way. I like the idea. Unfortunately, these ships, of course, they announced a few weeks ago, are coming to early access literally in less than a month. We're going to have early access to these ships in 9.6. And they're not going to have time to make any kind of changes of that magnitude to this line before it releases. It frustrates me a little bit to see the release schedule so rushed that we're not. I haven't played these carriers. I'm speculating. I don't know. It just feels like they're in such a hurry to get these ships out the door that good ideas or better things we could be trying or attempting are just not being thought of, brought about. I don't know. It feels like they're in a big bloody hurry, and I don't like it. I miss the days of not having like super pre-announced ship releases. Like, again, I will always come back to the British light cruisers, right? Because those ships, they had a very difficult testing cycle. Anybody who, I was not an ST, but I knew plenty of them back in the day. Anybody who was an ST in that era will remember the British light cruisers, when they were moving towards release, went through several major changes of how they worked mechanically. HE, no HE, AP, the pen values on the AP, blah, 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 blah. They went through like 3 months of serious hardcore internal testing before it finally released. And that line has proven to be really, really good all these years later. So the effort that was expended was worth it. And it doesn't feel like we're doing that anymore. And I don't know. That leaves me a little sad, I guess. I don't know. There's not much else I can say there. It bums me out to see that doesn't seem to be a priority. Or doesn't feel like it's a priority, looking from the outside in. If you spend any time on Reddit, there was a little bit of drama over on the World of Warships subreddit recently. The mods have been trying to clean up the place in terms of, well, let's just be honest. Like, way back in the day when I first started going over there was a ton of really good info. People would trade tips, ship builds, some of the data mine info you could only get by digging into the game files, or if you had a subscription access to game models 3D and all this kind of stuff. And these days, it's just a giant crap on wargaming and meme factory, right? It's just that seems to be the majority of what goes on that Reddit. And so the mods, I think, taking some of the feedback, apparently I'm not the only one that felt this way, kind of went through and rewrote some of the rules. Hey, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing, and we're going to start restricting when you can post what, and so on and so forth. And that was not very well received. And in fairness, I looked at it and I thought, this feels like it might be a little over the top, guys. I appreciated what they were attempting. I think they might have tried to use too big of a sledgehammer. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, they're going to go back and reevaluate things over there. And they're going to basically, it sounds like their goal is to set up a little filter system where if you don't want to see the memes, let's say, you can click a little button on the right-hand side in the column that will allow you to like filter those out. So you'll see basically, you can see all the posts but memes. You can come in and just see just the memes or whatever. And I'm really appreciative of that because I feel like that's going to make that sub a much more useful tool for players who are new to the game or looking for help, looking to learn, and so on and so forth. Yeah, we're kind of winding down here with this game. The last few minutes of this game were really interesting. I knew I was chasing this Akizuki and his smoke, right? And I threw these torpedoes out there, trying to sink him. I accidentally sank an Iowa. Okay. I knew he was back there. I didn't think those torpedoes would do anything to him, but I accidentally sank the Iowa. Then I managed to bag the Akizuki. That felt good. But I was basically spotted at medium range with a Musashi when I finally got the Akizuki. So that only ends one way for me as a Drake. So that's fine. But then, lo and behold, I did manage to get my last rack of torpedoes off onto the Musashi before I died. I did manage to land 2 of them, and the guy detonated. Yep, that's right. I got a devastating strike and a flesh wound at the same time by detonating a Musashi after I was already dead. That felt really good, and it was just a hilarious way to end this game, so I wanted to share. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget the giveaways. Check out the 2,000 subscriber one down below. Keep your eyes on Twitter for the 4,000 follower one. Be safe out there. Wash your hands, and I'll catch you next time.